Hello. It is 4th of July, Independence Day here in the United States. At least that's what they say. It is 2021, 4th of July, July 4th. I am Erica. This is Nicole coming to you from two sides of the ocean.
Hi, how's it going?
I tried to say something different. I don't know. How's it
Well,
going?
I'll say, normally if I had just been living in the United States, I wouldn't make such a big deal about it. But once you're away from your homeland, you do take notice of like Thanksgiving, 4th of July, little because the things that make you the outsider. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a big juicy burger today, you know. And you know what? I loved every bite of it. So that's.
And what did you make for dessert?
I made a cheesecake, New York style. And I will even say this, and you could laugh all you want. It's got berries on it that are red and blue. So it looks like a flag.
That's so cute. That's really nice.
It'll all go down the pie hole in an hour or so.
4th of July is, well, last night, of course, there's always like a little bit of a prep or a little pre-show. I heard some firecrackers going off, and Domi went and hid in the bathroom. So we're just gonna stay home tonight and just be with him because yeah, I was gone all day yesterday. Here he comes. He knows I'm talking about him. Hi. I was gone all day yesterday. And when I came home, it was like separation anxiety. He was so like, oh my gosh, you're home. And he was just like attached to my hip for the rest of the night. And this morning, he's just been like right next to me. It's adorable. So
he notices when you normally don't go out for that long of a period.
Well, we adopted this adorable dog during lockdown, and he's not used to us, being gone all day, because that hasn't been the norm in the last year. So now that when we do go and are gone for, oh my gosh, I was gone almost all day yesterday. He was beside himself when I came home. It was cute.
Oh, I hope he doesn't get too like shaken up tonight, because that's going to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really loud over here in Bay Ridge, but I know.
Yeah, but they feel all that vibration and stuff that we don't feel, I think.
Yeah. So in true hypocrisy of the United States, we asked the courts in the beginning of this week to free Britney, and instead the courts decided to free Bill Cosby. What's your thoughts on that, Nicole?
Do I really need to? You know what? I wouldn't even call that an American thing. I would just call that like deep down into the heart of, sorry to say this, but just like male power. And if you have money, even better.
Right.
What can we say about it?
Well, the way that celebrities are treated is completely different. So how is this female celebrity being treated? It's really how has she been treated is really
something's not right there. Something's not right there.
There's a lot not right there, I think. The fact that this whole conservatorship thing is something that you would place on someone who is at the end of their life. That's what these things are usually for. Dementia, Alzheimer's, somebody who's not able to make decisions for themselves. That clearly is not the situation here. And what was really, I think, the worst part about it is that the judge told her, your lawyers are supposed to tell you X, Y, and Z. And she even said, oh, I didn't know that. Her father pays those lawyers. Those lawyers are intentionally not helping.
But don't you find it weird? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I mean, how stupid can you be though, to a certain degree? Like you didn't research that on your own either. Like you don't know that you could actually petition against something, or come on. I mean, I know I'm gonna get shit for saying that, but that's also like totally.
Now, I do think that the lawyers that are hired to work for her,
Yeah, they
are
don't help.
they're paid by the father who wants to keep her, you know, complacent, ignorant,
But she
whatever.
doesn't talk to anyone else in the world that could be like, by the way, you do know you can. It's not like you're in confinement with no access to information either. I mean,
Why did this judge not release her from this? Why leave it to, oh, well, down the road, you can petition again? I mean, just let it go. You have the ability to do so. Why not? It's
well,
insane. It's
what looks like us to as a waste of time is it equates to more money for them. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, let's just keep profiting, I guess, off of the situation.
So speaking of another waste of time, we all here in New York City got these crazy alerts. Like, I don't know if you have this thing with your phone, you know, when there's an emergency, your phone will like Amber Alert, your phone
Yeah.
will like, burp, 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 right? That it was so hot this week that Con Ed was insisting that its customers conserve on your devices and your electricity. And I thought it was like, how dare you, like, one, scare everybody with this, you know, please help us out when Times Square is lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, there's so many things that we could not do, that you don't have to ask your customers to
Yeah.
lessen their, I mean, it was a crazy alert, and it kind of pissed me off. It's one thing to get, you know, now like Con Edison can send you text messages and emails and
That's
all kinds of
insane.
things. But this was like an alert, like emergency, turn all your devices off. And I'm just thinking, how many people really were like, oh, you know, it's like end of days, I have to listen to what they're saying. And it's really,
Oh, I bet a lot of people did. You know how people
it's my
get all,
favorite word. It's gaslighting. It's scaring people
yeah.
unnecessarily, I think, because there's things that Con Edison could do to alleviate the grid, not asking their customers to.
Well,
Anyway.
I was talking to Maria yesterday, our friend who lives in Boston. As soon as she clicked on, she had like a sweatshirt on.
Yesterday, yeah, yesterday was cold. Hi, Alex.
Um, yeah, she turns on the computer and I'm like, why are you guys dressed?
Yeah, yesterday, well, we got rain and it cooled it off. I was wearing a sweatshirt yesterday too. It's weird.
Yeah, so
How is she? She's our maybe one of our two viewers on this?
she actually asked about you and about this. Yeah, she's doing well. So I see you're wearing a t-shirt. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
This is
Yay.
the t-shirt that Ronnie designed for Lisa, my friend who passed away. It says, yeah, but did you have a double lung transplant?
Well, that's
Because
yeah.
it was something that Ronnie and Lisa would joke about, that you know, people brag about all kinds of things, and then she could say, yeah, but did you survive a double lung transplant? It's just this funny thing. And then Ronnie had made her this little banner, and she had like used it on her Facebook page. And so this t-shirt, there were sweatshirts. I think there's another design of a like tank top and t-shirt with a different image of Lisa's face, that all were for a fundraiser for the mural that's getting painted next week. So this was the idea. Working in street art down here in New York City, there's always different budgets and mural production, things that are paid for by different, however these murals get painted. And when we had this idea of painting a mural up in Endicott, I really didn't know how we were going to fund it or how we were going to make it happen. We knew that the artist was going to give us a good deal. So the two other friends of Lisa's, they said, she would just love to have like merch. She was a big fan of merch. And they said, we'll put together a fundraiser, and there's a website. The company is giving us 50% of the proceeds. So they came up with this Live Like Lisa hashtag. And I do think that some people think that the mural is going to look like this black and white image of her face, because I've used it on like the fundraiser page, and I made a Facebook event, and it's all this like black and white image. That's not what the mural is going to look like. But in order to like promote a mural before it actually gets painted, we decided to just use this image. But the mural is going to be a whole different thing. I'm really excited about it.
Wait to see how that turns out. That is really awesome. That project. I remember you talking about that from the beginning, the idea. And
I'm even nervous talking about it because it's like it hasn't happened yet, and there's so many little things that have to happen. But I did talk to the mayor's office and the fire marshal of Endicott, and there's also like a revitalization going on at the same time. So everybody's very excited, and they're gonna get the newspaper and the local TV station to be there for the unveiling ceremony on the 17th. And I'm really excited to bring this to my hometown.
In her honor.
In her honor. I've talked to a lot of people about it. There, I've listened to a lot of concerns. The owner of the building, she needs to do a little bit of paperwork with her insurance company this week just to cover us. I can't help her with that. It's like one of those things where I'm trying to do as much as I can.
Bureaucracy.
Prepared, but there's some stuff I kind of can't do. So the other business. Go ahead.
How long is this going to stay up for?
Oh, well, the business that gave us the approval to do it, they got their grant, so they're not shutting down. They were afraid that they might not be able to stay open. So as long as they're at that location and nobody ruins it, it should, it's really the first mural in that town that I can think of. I know like Binghamton, there's some big murals that have gone up. There's also some like random like productions on like some abandoned buildings in Binghamton. But as far as Endicott goes, I don't think there's any murals. So this will be really awesome. I'm aware that not everybody knows Lisa, and it could feel personal, but I really think Damien has the ability to bring an image to life that doesn't feel like this. You had to know her and to understand, it's really going to be a whole piece with her likeness. So yeah, I guess I can't say too much more, right? I mean, it's fingers crossed that everything goes well. We have the lift reserved. Yes. It'll be there.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, everything's like in its place. So let's just.
No, yeah, it's you're right. This is one of the things at the beginning of this year I said this is going to happen, and it looks like it's going to happen. So we finished watching 1971, and I've been thinking about it a lot, like 1971, fast forward 2021, and there's so many parallels.
Yeah.
music really sucks right now.
I mean, and I was talking to Eduardo about this last night because we started watching Summer of Soul last night. We got through most of it. And I was
Is it,
talking,
did you like find it illegally, or is it just a streaming? Can I,
no, I found, well, yeah, I downloaded it. Because I think
okay,
no, but I think it's on Hulu, isn't it?
okay, I'll look. I
It's
want to
on
watch.
Hulu.
Okay.
So we were just talking about like, how music, how it reflects the political times, and how we have all the makings to have that again because of what's going on in the world, particularly in the US, right? I don't know, we got into this debate about, yeah, but does anything get produced now, even though it might be reflecting the times where it's going to later be legendary? Or then he started in with this whole thing about, yeah, but you don't realize that we don't have radio anymore. That's a huge thing. Like we were, in order for anything to be legendary, you've got to give time to pass, first of all. And things are not, the way we listen to music is not the way we listened to music 50 years ago, where you and your mother could be listening to the same thing because we were forced to listen to the radio kind of deal, unless you played an album in your house. But now that's not the way it is. I don't know, maybe I'm going off on a tangent, but we got into that discussion.
Yeah, no, because we all, I mean, you could, the same thing with television.
Yeah, exactly.
There were 3 channels, like we're all watching the same thing, and that's not even possible. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and just the caliber of, I mean, I was talking about this with a coworker of mine he's from the UK, and he's really into he's about 20 years older than we are, but really into rock and history of rock. And he was like, really, when I think about it, that was like the last era. I mean, I guess when you use words like the best era, you can't really say that. I mean, it's a matter of opinion, but what has come out of things after that have been comparable to what was going on during the times? I don't know. Am I going off? Am I making sense here?
It's, well, I know what you're saying. It is hard to look at. We're in this new age of technology, and you're right, the connecting with human beings is not the same. This project yesterday, I had been working with this guy, talking with him over Zoom, but yesterday was the first time we met in person, and like we probably should have taken like an extra hour just to sit and like talk to each other, because it was like a whole different relationship when you're in person with each other. I didn't know the kid was 23 years old.
Okay.
All of a sudden I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was working with a 23-year-old, which is different than, for some reason, I thought 28 when he said he had gotten out of school, and it makes me sound old, but but the in-person thing is like, we've been doing this Zoom thing, and it's not connecting. I don't think it's a good substitution. But well, I mean, listen, what about the 90s? What about all of come on.
I know, that's why I don't want to say like nothing ever came of
but politically, I know, I mean, I can think about like hip hop in the 90s was very politically, and the 80s was politically motivated. There was a lot of artists out, Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. No, that's why I backtrack. I don't mean to say nothing good came out of it.
But watching that 1971 was like, wow. I mean, it was a different world. But if you were to watch that and say, you know what, something didn't happen because here we are again. Something like when they were talking about like
history is cyclical.
Yeah, when they were talking about like the hippie movement, like, oh, fuck that. And like music got better after that, like that whole peace and love thing. And it was just, well, yeah, but you guys didn't change the world. We're right back into this fucking racist. I mean, but it's supposed to be this like, hopefully we're getting better, but
But musically speaking too, I just don't think we talk about artists that change the world. I can't see us talking about people of today 50 years from now the way we talk about artists 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
even if you
who
don't like
knows,
them, like
but
who's going to be going, oh, Taylor Swift? What?
yeah, she rocked my world. She said such important stuff.
What do we have that's, I don't know.
I know we're sounding old saying that, but yeah.
But when you see Summer of Soul, when you start seeing some of this shit, you're gonna be like, oh my God, there's Stevie Wonder at 19 years old playing the drums, first of all, okay? We're still talking about him like,
Oh yeah, and artists today, they're still talking about those people. They're still covering their music. They're still sampling their
it's
music. Like,
relevant.
yeah, there is a lot of, oh, remember all that old stuff, and maybe we're trying to recreate that or whatever. I've been listening to old music. I don't know a whole lot of new
Well,
stuff.
that's what Eduardo said too. He goes, maybe we shouldn't be talking about this because like, honestly, we don't, like, what are we listening to? We're not like keeping up with everything new either. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what's out there necessarily. And the way of seeking it out is not the way we did it when we were younger. So I don't know. There are a lot of issues about it, but it was definitely cool to watch. And I think when you get on Summer of Soul, it's gonna be.
Yeah, we just finished the 1971 and I thought it was really awesome. I
Yeah.
really liked it a lot. I thought about, my parents, because that's like our parents'
Yeah.
generation. And my mom used to always say, like, I was too young to go to
Yes.
Woodstock, like she would have gone or something. That she was a little bit younger. But the music of the 70s
Oh yeah.
is so reflective of that time. And from there, we just have been experiencing this technological revolution that, you go back to the industrial revolution and all of the like really shitty things that came out of that, good and bad. But we're really living in a time, I'm not sure where, well, when we talk about art, and I think music reflects the time, but to me, it doesn't seem like musicians are coming up with protest music that's making people go, oh my God, but artists are out painting murals. I hate to say, these artists who are out doing public
Mm.
thing, there's a reason that it's popular, and it's a reason that people are interested in
Yeah.
public murals. I think there is a craving for a new form of art. I hate that music isn't filling that void, because yeah, I'm with you with that, but we just kind of sound old when we say that there's nothing that we like anymore. But
I want to ask my mother what she remembers about this Summer of Soul, because she talks about what my mother's a little bit older than yours, not much, but in when Woodstock was happening, she was 16. So she was like too young to like,
right.
But she said like, oh, I wanted to go, but my father wouldn't let me, or something like that. But they lived in the Bronx and this thing was going on. So I'm curious. I mean, the proximity. She had to have seen publicity or heard something about it.
Yeah.
Because all the footage that's in there was not shown. I don't know if you know this, but it's all like first time viewed.
Cool. Yeah, it's been in all the festivals and stuff. I hope Quest, gets some awards for it, because I know how passionate he
I
is.
hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's his first directorial debut, Amir. Yeah, I mean, listen, like the Roots are an example of our upbringing. They're from Philly, they're about our age. And his father was a R&B, he was in an R&B
Yeah.
group. So he even reflects on this past so much so, not that they don't create their own sound and their own music that's unique, but I mean, we're all like looking back on that time period, I think. Because I think the biggest question is, how are we gonna get over this political turmoil time in the same way and do better and not end up in the 80s with the crack epidemic and all the bad things that, we don't want another Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying?
This is not supposed to, I know this is
Not want another Ronald Reagan.
this is supposed to be funny, what we're talking about, but it's not funny. So I'm just gonna say, like, I don't think we are gonna get out of it. It's gonna go, I think that's just the way of the world. Ha.
Hold on tight. It's going to be a wild ride for the rest of our lives. We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, we're headed into another hot week. Speaking of, I mean, when I talk about climate change, another real uplifting topic.
That's so funny you say that, because I got a text message the other day from like a group I shouldn't even be involved in. It's some people from work sending pictures of the map, like with all the fires in Canada and in the Northwest, and then just a caption that says, "Another thing we'll ignore." It's like,
yeah. I think Canada, some portion of Canada, they broke their record by 8 degrees. 8, not like 1 or 2,
yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
huge.
broke our record. 8 degrees hotter than their last record this week. So
That's sick, yeah.
but as soon as it gets cold, everybody goes, nah,
Yeah.
like they don't understand the I mean, when we start getting really bad storm, I mean, that's another part of it, is really bad storms. So we have like a winter where it's like blizzards. Everybody thinks that climate change doesn't exist.
Well, those are the same morons that think the world is flat and that, they can downward dog their way out of the coronavirus and all that other shit that we've been saying. Oh, by the way, here's something that we could talk about. And I don't think I told you this. Yeah, okay, well, you do know I got my first jab on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Nothing to report. Everything went fine. But after, how after you get the shot, the way this place was set up, it was kind of like this weird stadium type thing. So I was like sitting there, you're supposed to wait the 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there for 10 minutes and there's a woman behind me. Now, you might want to file me under asshole for this, but I turned around because the woman's right behind me, and a bunch of people start coming over to her, and she's going, and she's like crying and shaking her head. And first thought is something's happening to her, like, but she's been there longer than me. I doubt it's something physical, right? Then they come over and they start checking her blood pressure. And then they come over, like 2 more doctors come over with garbage bags. And I'm like, she gonna vomit? And then like no one wants to look, but I'm like, I want to see. Like, I want to see the shit spew out of her mouth, right? So and she's like, and then just starts crying. I'm like, this is mental. I'm like, I think she's like psyching herself up. One of these people that probably didn't want to get it, but got the vaccine. Or
Really?
They came running over, put the woman on a gurney. That was the end of them. No one ever saw her again. She wheeled her out. But I kind of,
What?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if it was the situation, and it was like,
she was waiting for the 10 minutes, like, yeah, afterwards?
I started laughing.
Yeah, I would too. Like, what's wrong with her?
So Eduardo's texting me because he's outside waiting for me because he already did his before me. And Alex had to come with us and he couldn't come in. So Eduardo was like outside waiting with him. He's like writing to me, "Are you almost done?" And I'm like, "I'm just watching this woman like have a freak out. I'll be out in a..." He's like, "What?"
So you think it was because of did she throw up? She was just like dry heaving?
She was having a mental episode for sure.
But surrounding getting the shot, getting the
She
vaccine?
was already, she had been sitting there before I sat down, so I don't know if it was like she was thinking or. But I kind of started laughing because I was like, nothing, this is like, there's nothing to be worried about. But you take all the other people there that are looking and panicking. I'm like, this is going to turn into like mayhem. Watch everyone start having like that scene in Stand By Me when they all start throwing up. Everyone's puking blueberry pie suddenly. Like that's what was going to happen.
Or like
Hard ass Logan.
or like Chunk when he's telling the story, and then everybody started puking.
Yeah. I was like, oh God. So that, yeah, that was that.
So you were just
I'd like to
you were
say
like,
it was uneventful, but
I do that too. And I feel like I'm in a safe enough distance away from something, I'm watching. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, everyone was looking away. I'm like, I want to see the
Yeah, like I
projectile.
gotta be in a safe enough distance away, but I'm standing there and I'm watching what's going on. Yeah. That's the New Yorker in us, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And some sick part of me gets turned on by it too. Like I love when something bad happens in a situation. Not bad, but like something that's like very routine and someone does something to make it, spice it up a bit.
Yeah. Shake up the apple cart or whatever. That's funny.
To be continued. But anyway, so
So you go get your next shot in 3 weeks?
I don't even, yeah, I got the Pfizer, so it should be 3 weeks, but they don't tell us until like a couple of days before they send us a message,
Okay.
the QR, and then we go and whatever. So we'll see. But I'm
Well,
getting close to where you are now, so.
yeah. So New York is, I don't know how things are there, but walking around, it is.
No, you guys are back to normal.
Yeah, but then sometimes there's just, everybody's got masks on and I'm cool. The subway, everybody's still wearing their
They
masks on the
should
subway.
though in the subway.
But then there's just people just not, and nobody is giving them any problems. It is, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I'm still staying away from crowds. I'm still staying away from people. But then, I was out yesterday and we were on the street and walking, and the girl that we were with saw somebody she knew. She went over to them and she introduced us, and they stick their hand out, and I'm shaking hands with these, what? And I just go, here I go, like right back into just, I'm shaking hands with strangers outside of barber shops, and what's going on?
I'm wondering, as you're telling that story and you're like, I'm still staying away from crowds, and I'm thinking that's idealistic for us, right? Can we use this excuse 20 years from now? Like, can we just go, yeah, I don't want to go, I don't want to be with a lot of people. Yeah, there's some variance going around. Variance.
Oh, Nicole, I think this is, I don't want to use the term, but I think that we are in the new normal as far as socializing goes. I don't know. I think the days of these big, huge concerts, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to them, but because I do think that there will be something else. Maybe.
We have a surge now, even though more and more people are getting vaccinated. There's a surge in the 20s, the 20-year-olds, because they haven't been vaccinated yet, that group here. And
Is it this
obviously,
new variant, or
yeah,
is it still
the Delta thing, but still, like, when you think about it, we're older, we don't do those things as much. You know how we've said, like, thank God this didn't happen when we were in our 20s, because it would have been a different way of coping and dealing. But these people are in their 20s, they haven't been vaccinated, and they're doing their social business like they would normally be doing. And that's why we're all okay. We're kind of okay now, but
and
they're accounting for all the new cases, basically. So
it's just not going to go away. And that's the,
and those are the people I have to work with in the fall. So we'll see.
well, but it's not gonna, science says that this isn't going away.
No, it'll never go away.
No, this isn't going away. So
Okay.
yeah, I think we can continue. What I'm telling you is we can continue being, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I don't feel comfortable. Yeah, I think we can slide on that for a while socially.
For another decade.
Sure. Yeah, I really am very glad that I'm, like we said, we're in relationships. I mean, I know some people who just became single and I wouldn't want to be them. I don't
Yeah.
wish that on anybody. I mean, it's so, I really do enjoy getting to know new people and meeting new people, but it's really nice to not have to be in that trying to figure people out and you
Yeah.
know, emotions and all that. And like I said, I have a friend who just broke up with somebody and she's a mess, and boy, throw that into all this other stuff going on, and ugh. So
With that. Well, we should probably,
appreciate the people we're in our lives.
end with that.
Yeah.
So I should say that this will be our last week for like 2 weeks, because between you going away, me going away, we have some things going on, but we will, let's keep record of murals and anything else going on, so we can, when we do
Yes, we'll have-
reconvene, we have something to show.
We'll have a lot to talk about come the end of July, probably. I
Yeah.
also made an appointment for another tattoo around my birthday.
Ooh,
So August is getting filled up with some fun things.
cool.
I'm gonna get to see some family members at some point that month. My friend is coming from California for maybe my birthday. I don't know. I think
Wow.
my friend Terry, I think is coming.
Oh, wow, okay.
On another hypocrisy note, Sha'Carri Richardson is not able to run in the Olympics and win her gold medal that she definitely would win because she was found with some cannabis in her system, and it's considered a performance enhancing drug.
That
which
was
is
the part,
crazy.
that's the part I laughed at, actually. I go, whoever
And-
wrote this and said this has obviously never used it, because when was the last time you ran like your best?
Like that. Yeah. It's just such bullshit because you know, it's been legalized here. There are shops opening up.
Yeah.
Shops. Like I felt like I was in Denver yesterday. I went into a storefront and they sold me edibles.
I think there are only like 6 states now that aren't, that it's not legal.
So
Yeah,
really, you know, I felt like somebody just saw her and her hairs and her nails and they just hated her so much. They had to just dim her shine, and it pissed me off so much because she just was about to, I mean, she was gonna
ridiculous.
break all kinds of records. She was, you know, well, at least slated to break all of the records for the
Yeah.
category she was entered into. Anyway, so not too excited about the Olympics this year.
No, I can care less either.
Yeah. And I feel bad for Tokyo because now Tokyo's going to be a debt ridden place with all
Old shit to clean up, probably. Yeah.
Poor city will fall apart after this
Yeah,
event.
that's what usually.
It's fucked up. It's really, yeah. The whole Olympic committee thing is like another, it's like another corrupt government organization, but it's even bigger than the government. Profiting off our athletes. All right.
All right. Have a good week or 2.
Have a great vacation.
Okay. Talk to you later.